This one is called Pardon the Interruption. Excuse me, I was just wondering if people ever stop to think about the very specific programming that's presented in prime time, or the very specific types of stories that are presented by the media. Let me start by saying I'm a lot like George Carlin, because I don't trust my government or the media. Here's what I see through serious observation. Greatest portion of what I see from the media is stories that create fear, anger, hatred, division, separation, and depression. There's a racist agenda, and I recognize the racists on all sides of the aisles, whether it is the individual who outright calls me a cracker, or the individual who starts off with, "I'm not a racist." That's the Democratic Party, as though racism is an attribute of a particular political party. I laugh when I get called cracker because I'm not a field boss. I may have been born in Georgia, but I don't own a whip. Racism exists and is hit on as a hotbed topic on a regular basis. It's done because it strikes a nerve and people get filled with anger. They get into an us versus them mentality, and it stops people from paying attention to the things that are really happening around them. It's not all bad, because they offer us shows that make us feel good for a little bit. Every once in a while, they give us a feel-good story so that we'll still remain depressed, but not to the point of being suicidal. I mean, after all, dead customers are no good to the pharmaceutical companies. Unless, of course, you're a veteran, and then they're helping you off yourself, because their experiments didn't kill you fast enough, and they see you as a costly burden. The bottom line is it all goes back to the politicians, the industrial military complex, big pharmaceutical companies, and corporations. We're the most medicated nation in the world, and in order for their plans to work, we must be medicated, remain fearful, angry, full of hatred, divided and separated. The saddest part is this actually works. The media has helped lead us into multiple unwinnable wars under false flags where the heroin flows had to be handed off. Vietnam, when we took it over from the French, and Afghanistan, where the Taliban was destroying the poppy crops. You cannot get away with screwing with the poppy crops and our heroin supply. They'll kill you for that. They absolutely need that drug flow to fill their prisons, to trade on the stock market, make addicts so they can sell methadone and offer addiction services. These things create billions of dollars a year. Our wars cost trillions. And a great number of our politicians have a vested interest in these things. And we don't get to see their financial reports because it would let us know where their loyalties lie and who's sponsoring them. I know it works because people are divided by political lines, and they will vote their party in when they think the opposition's failing. The other guys will vote the other party in when they're not happy in the next election. It becomes a revolving door where corrupt politicians get to exist for decades and nothing gets done. If a politician actually wants to create a positive change, they either squelched or eventually conform to what has become the norm. The only thing that changes is the amount of money in their bank accounts. If you think that voting in 2016 will change anything, then you clearly do not understand the problem. The most disturbing things that let me know the plan is working is the riots, the desecration of historical monuments, individuals killing innocent people in hopes of starting a race war, and people calling for war. I've actually had several people tell me that they believe with conviction in their hearts that a race war is on the future. That's extremely unsettling and beyond disturbing. It sounds very supremacist, and it reminds me of Charles Manson in Helter Skelter. I had to get that out. Thanks for your time. You may now return to your regularly scheduled programming.